Apartment approvals crash by over 18%. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at the latest data from the ABS discussing building approvals. Well, because there's something quite interesting and shocking in it with regards to apartment approvals. If we jump over to trading economics, we can see the number of dwelling approvals in Australia declined by 1.6% month over month in August, following an upwardly revised 12.2% surge in the previous month and compared with market consensus of a 2% fall. Market consensus of a 2% fall. I'll have a shot of coffee while we dwell on that. So, private sector dwellings excluding houses tumbled 11% versus 23% in July, while private sector houses rose at a softer 4.8 versus 8.6. So if we scroll down here, we can see the market consensus was a fall of -2, and they achieved 1.6. But the actual, last month, it just blew all expectations out of the water, and we can see that here in just the building approval data. Now, one thing that is really quite shocking here. Well, not really shocking, but it's drastic. It's a big move, and it's going to hurt a big part of the construction industry. Is right down here, if we have a look. These are the main August figures. So dwelling units approved were 13,691. So it's down 1.6% from last month. It's up 0.6% from a year ago. Houses, well, there are 9,312 houses approved. Private sector homes approved last month, which is pretty good. It's up 4.8%. Now, from last year, it's increased 12.4%. But here is the big one. This is what's dragging it down. This is why we're actually in negative approvals. Private sector dwellings excluding houses, only 4,206, down 11%. Down 11%. Year on year, it's down over 18% at 18.4%. 18.4%, guys. Now, if you're working in the multi-res sector, you have to be feeling it, guys. You have to be feeling it. And there's some practices, there's some firms that purely just focus on the multi-res. I know there's an architecture's office that we drive past on the way to church, and they've left their office. I know my former landlord was friends with that architect and was saying that, he just focused on medium density apartments targeting developers. And he, had to shrink his firm. And we've seen that, an 18% hit to that sector. Consumer confidence in apartments, in buying off the plan, is just at an all-time low. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. The only articles we're seeing about people buying off the plan are purely propaganda pieces. Media Watch just got onto that domain article that we were talking about, a few days ago, where one of the selling agents for the developer was, putting forward that he'd bought 2 apartments and was putting them together and how much of a brilliant move it was. Purely propaganda. Purely propaganda. And, it just reeks of desperation. But we can see here, housing, there you go. Nearly a 5% surge, guys. These two here, this is Home Builder, right here. Home Builder spruiking up that market. But look at that. And you've got to remember back a few years ago, when we had all of this foreign investment plowing into our property sector, huge amounts of it plowing into, that was just about the time we also had, and this is a quote from Berry, a huge portion of our GDP just coming out of a portion of Sydney. And just in apartment development. You have to read his article about Australia being built on a house of cards, guys. If you haven't looked at it on Medium or LinkedIn, I would recommend you find that one. So, there we go. 18% hit. So we can see here, this is the total number of dwelling units approved. They went slightly down overall, but if we scroll down here, seasonally adjusted, you can see, look at that. Look at the number of houses. So here, that's 17. That aligns with with this foreign investment review pretty well. See, just as the foreign investment started tapering off, this is after the approvals hit. Look at that peak in approvals between 15 and 16, just before here. It's all flooded into apartments, everyone. It all floods into apartments. And then you can see well, we can see, I'm just finding my chart here, guys. We can see just property prices have shot up since, look at 2017. Look at the blue line at the top. So apartments have taken a huge hit. Housing has been pushed up, which I can't say is surprising. So, but still, if you combine the two together, we're still in a negative. We're still down. We're still down. So how would it have been? Oh no, we're up over year on year, but we're down month on month. So not too bad, but then again, how much money are we throwing at this? How would it have been without the government intervention? Without the government intervention, everyone. And you've got to remember, I was looking at another video with regards to inflation. You know, lending for houses is going up. It's going up, everyone. That's increasing our money supply. When there's an increase in money supply, you've got the Cantillon effect. And then that drives up the cost. It's not captured in inflation. CPI doesn't capture it. The modern interpretation of inflation doesn't capture it. But, I mean, anecdotally, normal people going about your day-to-day lives trying to scrape together enough for a house. So, if we scroll down here, we can see private sector houses. Let's have a look. New South Wales was 2,146. Monthly change down 0.3. Total dwelling units approved was 3,364. Month-on-month change in New South Wales was down 14.2%. Wow. I thought New South Wales would be doing worse than Victoria, but you know, here you go. That probably has to do with the complete decimation of the multi-res sector there. Victoria, 3,250 houses. Total was 5,181. Month-on-month, 1.8. Queensland, 1,776. Month-on-month change for houses is up 13.9%. So don't tell me that's not a big move. Total dwelling units approved was 2,487. So up 8.1. South Australia, okay, houses barely budged, 1.4% still. That's another 650 houses nearly. 753 units. That's 4.8% down. But look at Western Australia, everyone. Look at Western Australia. 34.9% in houses. 34.9% in houses. 33.8% in dwelling units. Look at Tasmania, nothing in houses. 26.2% down. All the rest are not available. But look at Western Australia. That's just nuts. And we're seeing, you know, apparently there's a rental shortage. I looked at it the other day in a video over in WA. Viewers are telling me they suspect it's to do with all the fly-in, fly-out workers who, to keep their jobs, now have to stay in WA. So they plan well, the assumption is that they're renting because they don't want to settle there long term and they plan to leave after when they can get out. So is this a short-term rental boom for WA? You know, is it a little boom there? And inflation of the prices there? Could it be? Is it for the long term? So I'd be very cautious right now if I was looking at Western Australia to invest just with the state of the country, because you can't even move freely. So there are all these artificial things which are restricting the market that have never existed before. So value of building approved, new residential buildings, the month-on-month change is 4%. Alterations and additions, that's gone up 7%. Total residential buildings has gone up 4.4%, and non-residential buildings has gone up 40%. So total has been up 18.1%. So value of buildings by approved type, seasonally adjusted. We can see here residential and non-residential. They've both gone up. Now, is that value inflation adjusted? So there we have it, everyone. Some really interesting takeaways from this. Western Australia is just going crazy. That's why I have to turn off the audio when I'm sneezing. Anyway, guys, what do you all think? Are you in the game? Are you working on these apartments? Have you noticed the slowdown? I know we had some viewers who were working on some big projects, months ago. Are they still kicking ahead? What's it like? What's your next 6 months lining up for? Let us all know, guys, because that's going to play out with demand for housing and the ability for people to just pay their bills. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you later.